Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, my Bitcoiners. Happy Saturday, my traders. Welcome, supporters, subscribers, followers, haters, um, detractors, all of you. Welcome. Welcome to another live masterclass by Oliver Velez. Guys, of course, my name is Oliver Velez, and I've got something really special for you. Something very, very special and very timely to share with you today. Now, I'm going to have to start this presentation off today by apologizing for my tardiness. It is absolutely, totally my fault. I've been doing quite a bit of traveling as of late, and I actually got my hours wrong. I actually thought it was 10 o'clock 10 a.m. my time, which is now 9:40 or so. I got my hours wrong, guys. I apologize about that, but I so appreciate your patience. I appreciate you guys hanging in there. I promise you, the wait is going to be well worth it. All right, so guys, come on in, guys. Grab the beverage of your choice. I've got an interesting mix here. I've got a black coffee tea mix here. I have to be honest with you, I didn't even know this was a thing until recently. Did you guys know this? I didn't know how powerful, how potent, how healthy this mix was. I don't know. I guess I've been left in the dark ages. You guys have all probably know, but here's the black coffee and green tea mix. If you haven't heard about it, do your research. It's a powerhouse. All right. I do strongly encourage that you take notes. I strongly welcome your questions. I'll try to take as many as I possibly can. Your questions sort of help give any one of my talks structure. It gives it flavor. And it makes every single presentation tailored to the specific people that are here. So I love your questions. And I'm a big boy. You can ask anything your heart desires. Just throw it out there. All right? All right, guys. So let's get started here. Now, I wanted to focus, guys, on three things, if you'll allow me. I want to focus on three things, right? I wanted to focus this Bitcoin talk on how I wanted to talk about how I believe Bitcoin is on its way to eating the real estate market, the bond market in particular, and the global real estate market. Now, I'm going to go into these two things. I'm also going to talk today about why I believe we are on the cusp of one of Bitcoin's biggest, most epic runs in history. Now, you all know that Bitcoin is the best performing asset in the history of mankind, and it has had some epic runs. I believe that we are on the cusp of one of the most epic runs, and it's upon us. What do I mean by I believe it's upon us? I believe it's freaking several weeks away at most. So this is a very, very timely talk. I'm going to go into why I believe we're on the cusp of one of Bitcoin's most epic runs. But we're going to also first talk about why I believe Bitcoin will absorb a big portion of the global bond market and the global real estate market. So these are the three things we're going to cover: bonds, Bitcoin in bonds, Bitcoin in real estate, and Bitcoin's upcoming epic run. All right, let's go. All right. Now, Bitcoin will eat both real estate and bonds, and here's why. Now, before I actually do this, I'm so sorry. I really have to do this because I know there are a lot of new people who are in this talk today. But very briefly, guys, listen, I am one of the premier educators and trainers in the trading space, and have been so since 1994, guys. I have a career that is 38 years in the making as a pro trader. I started my career on Wall Street, left Wall Street after 6 glorious years to create my own Wall Street trading firm where I trained traders all over the world and had trading offices all over the world in multiple countries. All right. I was one of the faces of the trading industry all the way back in the 1990s. I gave the first inaugural keynote speech for the industry's first ever event. As I've mentioned, I've trained thousands of traders worldwide. Companies all over the world and hire me to train their traders even until this very day. I am also the best-selling author of 5 trading books. I personally have over 5,000 plus traders in my program, many of which are funded by me, equity and Forex traders. And I continue to be one of the most sought-after international speakers on the subject of trading markets for a living in the world. All right. I have been written up in virtually every single periodical, been on every single financial network news program that you can think of. As I mentioned, I'm the author of 5 international best-selling books on the topic of trading, written in 5 different languages: English, Spanish, Mandarin, German, and so forth and so on. So I'm also the author. I've started to write books on the topic, one of my favorite topics of Bitcoin. My first Bitcoin book is called Bitcoin Freedom: Breaking the Chains of Financial Slavery. This book was #1 across virtually every single Bitcoin category out there. Amazon #1 bestseller. And of course, guys, I strongly encourage that you follow me on all the social network platforms. All right, we got that out of the way. So let's talk about the world's wealth pockets and where the money is. And I think this is very important for us to understand. Most people don't understand, right? Guys, most people don't understand that money, the world's money, is largely parked in these parking lots, okay? Most of the world's value is parked in one of a variety of parking lots, okay? And I call them pockets, but you can look at them as parking lots. And the money is parked there, okay? The excess value is parked there. So this is where the vast majority of money is. It is stored in these parking lots, which we're going to talk about. And this means that the vast majority of the world's value is not really doing anything. It's just parked, or it's just stored. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what does this mean? It means that the #1 function of money is to store one's value, to safekeep it, not to spend it, not to move it, not to do anything with it, but to store it for future use. This is money's #1 and most important function, which is why these parking lots are so freaking huge. Let's take a look. Let me show you. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at these freaking huge parking lots for money. Now, I have to thank my friend Jesse Meyer for this schematic here. All right, this has become quite popular in the Bitcoin space, and I like to thank him for that. So I'm going to use it today. But I want you to understand that the biggest parking lots are real estate and bonds, one of the key topics of our talk today. Now, if you look at the upper right-hand corner, there's $1,000 trillion more or less of value stuck in these parking lots. And the value is being stored. This is where the value is being stored. This is not the money in use. This is not the money that's being spent. This is not the money that's being used to go to a baseball game. This is not the money used to buy meat or a loaf of bread or some eggs. This is the money that is being saved, that is being stored, that is being protected, that is being held for the future. And this is where the vast majority of the money is. The vast majority of the world's money is not being used, it's being saved. And this is very important to understand for our talk today. Because what this points to is that the number one focus of a good money is it a good parking lot? Is it a good storage space? Okay, now, real estate, out of the $1,000 trillion in stored value, real estate is freaking the beast. It's 370 trillion. That's over 1/3 of the entire world's value is in real estate globally. Then the next monster is global bonds, 318 trillion. You've got freaking 2/3 of the entire world's money, the entire world's value being stored in real estate and bonds. And then you have equities, which comes into a very distant third place. And then you have money itself, CDs, money market funds, and things of that nature, and currency, 129 trillion. And then you have the smaller storage spaces, art and collectibles, that's paintings and watches and, antique cars, and then there's gold, which is roughly at 22 trillion today. And then you have itsy bitsy little Bitcoin at it's actually $2.2 trillion as we speak today. Now, this is very important because what I am here to tell you is that Bitcoin is going after real estate, meaning that a big chunk of real estate will be flipping to Bitcoin. So think of a portion of this 370 trillion not being reinvested in Bitcoin, but as a result of what Bitcoin is and so forth and so on, which we'll talk about, more and more of the reinvestment which would go into real estate will be reinvested in Bitcoin. This is my thesis, and I'm sticking with it, and it will be your thesis by the end of our talk today. So what I am telling you is that increasingly, when people sell their homes or sell their second home or their third home or their vacation home, that money will not go back into real estate, it will go into Bitcoin. That some people that were going to go into real estate are no longer going to go into real estate, and they're going to go into Bitcoin. Increasingly, year by year, the numbers of people that will sell real estate and take the proceeds and go into Bitcoin will increase. And increasingly, the numbers of people that were thinking about real estate will no longer think about real estate and look at Bitcoin as the key store of value. You see, real estate is largely used as a store of value. It is not only used for living, as a living entity, as a living place. That is a utilitarian form of real estate, but there's an investment component of real estate. Now, listen, I want you to understand this. This is very important. There's the utility part of it. That's where real estate is used for your primary residence, where you live, where you raise your family. And then there's the investment part of it. This person has 25 apartment buildings. This person has 4 different homes throughout the country or throughout the world. This person has 6 or 7 different rentals. That's the investment part. Now, I want to cover something with you which I think is very important, and it is somewhat dear to my heart. Give me a second here. Somewhat dear to my heart here, guys. All right? I want to talk to you about this. I believe that it is a travesty. I believe that it is a travesty that homes stopped being just where you live and started to be a key investment place where you store your value. The reason for this is because that investment component, using something that's supposed to just have utilitarian value and making it an investment item, runs the price up of the utilitarian item. And what it does, that price run up because of the investment component, because it's a piggy bank and not just where I raise my family. It has taken the price of real estate out of the hands of our children. It has caused children to have to live with their parents into their 30s, into their 40s. It has caused many young people in today's generation to give up on home ownership, to actually not have any possible chance of home ownership. Our future generations will be homeless because of this investment component. And it's not supposed to be that way. A real estate is a utilitarian asset. It is supposed to be utilized for one thing, for raising your family, for living in, or for raising your stock, or, having your farm and planting, cucumbers or whatever the case is. But because it has been now largely used not for its utility, but simply because the money is broken, so I need something else to store it in. I can't store my excess in the current money, so I'm going to store it in 5 additional homes. I'm going to store it in 7 additional apartment buildings, or whatever the case is. And what this has done, it has created a wealth gap that is literally destroying the fabric of the world. Every single person should have the right to own property. That right has been shrinking by the decade, by the month, by the year, by the month, by the day, by the hour, squeezing all future generations out of their inalienable right to be property owners. And I'm here to tell you that Bitcoin fixes this. Now, I hear someone says that Bitcoin is only internet money. I would rather have real estate. By the end, if you stick around, by the end of this presentation, you're going to realize how actually silly that is. Because there is no property more superior than Bitcoin. And you will see that very soon, which is why hordes of people all over the world are starting to give up their real estate for Bitcoin, which you will see. All right. Let's get back to it. We've got a lot to cover here. All right. I'm excited too. All right. So Bitcoin is going to fix this. And I believe, guys, that over the next decade, you're going to see real estate prices collapse because of this movement. And the prices over the next decade, in my opinion, will actually start declining, getting close to its utilitarian value. So right now, real estate has a utility value, but its investment value is like this, all right? So think about this, guys. The average home in America is a little less than $500,000. Now, out of this $500,000, you probably have two-thirds of it is basically investment premium. That if it weren't used, if investment money did not drive it up, if the BlackRocks of the world coming into the real estate space and buying up all the homes to make sure that almost every single citizen can't own a home but can only rent a home, if that investment did not drive premium pricing, the price would collapse to its utilitarian value. I believe that over the next 10 years, you're going to see real estate collapse this system where this is utility, this is investment, and it's going to start eating away at the investment. The investment part is going to Bitcoin. I promise you, you've heard it here first, but I promise you this, and I'm going to show you that it's already happening. It's already happening. The next thing will be bonds. Bonds, people, bonds have been in existence for over 600 years. And for a period of time, over the last 4 decades or so, over the last 4 to 5 decades or so, they have been a solid place in the world's wealth basket, where you typically put 60% of your investment money in equities and 40% in bonds. And bonds served as the portfolio's stabilizer. Equities gave you the performance, bonds gave you the stability. But here's the problem today: monetary debasement. You see, guys, the dollar year to date, the US dollar has lost 10% in the first 9 months of its value, the first 9 months of the year. So basically, your dollar that you earned in January of this year now only buys 90 cents worth of merchandise. So whatever was $1 January, you can't buy today with the same dollar. You need $1.10 to buy the item. So because money, because the devaluation of, and this is the best money in the world, the best currency in the world, has declined 10%. There are some currencies that have declined 40%, 120% year to date. So your best currency has declined 10%. Now, this means in 9 months. Now, I want you to understand this. This is a little technical, but it's time to grow up and understand these things, people. It's time to grow up financially and understand these things. If your dollar has lost 10%, your bonds, when you put money into bonds, it is a promise for future dollars later. So you give your dollars to bonds. You give your dollars to the U.S. for a bond, a treasury bond, which the treasury bond is a promise for dollars tomorrow. You understand? But I'm already showing you, people, that dollars tomorrow are always lower. Dollars 9 months later is 10% lower. A year later, maybe it's 13% lower. 2 years later, maybe it's 20% lower. So when you give your money to bonds, you're guaranteed to get debased dollars later. You gave 4, you get back 2. You gave 2, you get back 1. So the world is starting to realize, I don't want future dollars. Do you understand? I don't want, future dollars are down. Future dollars are less. I'm going to give you full dollars today and get less dollars later. I'm not doing that anymore. The world is waking up. Nobody wants the bonds anymore. Do you understand what I'm saying, guys? Tell me you understand what I'm saying. That this is already a thing. No one wants future dollars. They'll take dollars right now, but don't promise me future dollars, because future dollars are way down here. Tell me you understand this. No one wants the future promise anymore. They don't want to give you their dollars now to get weakened dollars later. You got this? And so, what is happening as a result of this? Every few weeks, the US government issues a new set of treasury bonds, and guess what? No one shows up. No one shows up. No one's buying it anymore because they don't want future dollars. Do you understand this? So who do you think is buying the bonds? The US government is issuing bonds. No one's showing up. So who's buying them? The US government's buying their own bonds, which is further debasing the dollar. Do you understand this dynamic? If I have to spend my own dollars to buy my own money, because bonds are considered money, I've got to use my dollars, I got to print dollars to buy my own money. Then the very printing of those dollars to buy my own money because no one else is showing up is debasing my money more, which exasperates the problem. It's crazy, right? All right. Wild. So, if people are no longer buying the bonds, they no longer want future dollars, where do you think the money let's go back to it, guys. Let's go back to it. Where do you think the money, $318 trillion in bonds, as these bonds mature and the money becomes available, they gave this kind of money before. These bonds will mature, but they will only receive this amount from a debased point of view. This will not be reinvested there. No. It's going where? Bitcoin. So I hope you see my thesis so far, where I believe real estate will not be reinvested in real estate at the same clip, but instead be reinvested in Bitcoin. The bonds coming due will not be reinvested in bonds, but will instead be reinvested in Bitcoin, thus taking $2 trillion to 400 to 500 trillion. That is my thesis. Long term, we see a 400 to 500 trillion dollar Bitcoin price, which means, people, if I'm right, and I strongly believe that I am, and I believe that you will believe that I am right as well at the end of this presentation, this $2 trillion becomes 400 or 500 trillion dollars, which means that you are still early. It's a baby, people. It's a baby. Cuckoo, caca. Bitcoin, it's a powerhouse. It's $2 trillion, which is nothing to scoff at. It's the best performing asset in the history of the world. It is outpacing the usage of the internet. It's the fastest growing tech in the history of the world. It's the safest money in the entire world. It is the only money that no human being, no government, no organization can touch, confiscate, debase, hack, or take by force. So it's nothing to scoff at right now. That's what Bitcoin is right now. But it's still a cuckoo, it's still a baby. It's still $2 trillion going to 400 to 500 trillion dollars as it sucks value out of these other parking lots. All right, guys. I get excited. All right. Now, not just real estate and bonds, but I believe all. I'm not saying every single drop, but these are all ineffective compared to Bitcoin today. Taking Bitcoin to 500 trillion. Half the world's value. Now that's a tall order, but you'll see what I mean as we go forward. Okay, let's talk about, but we're going to focus on bonds and real estate today. And I want to take you down a little history here, all right? I think this is going to be fun. This should be fun for you. Some of you are very, very well aware of this history I'm going to go into, but probably the majority of you not so much. So you're going to learn something I think that's very financially important, and you're going to understand the evolution of bonds, what they're used for in the United States, and why it's over. It's over. The peak is in, and the decline of bonds has begun. That decline will go into Bitcoin by and large. Not all of it, but I believe the majority of it will. Bitcoin bonds, baby. All right? So let's cover this history a little bit. Okay, let's cover this history a little bit. A brief history of war bonds. Now, I have to give a great amount of credit to Nico Ludwig for this material, but I'm going to use his material in my specific way, all right? Now, Liberty war bonds. This is when, in America, bonds started to become a really big thing. You see, in 1914, World War I began, okay? And America did not first join the war. They joined the war in 1917, which is when America started to need money fast. So they had two options to fund the war effort, which option one, impose taxes on U.S. citizens. Now, I want you to understand this. In 1917, the majority of U.S. citizens did not pay taxes. There was actually no taxes until 1913. 1913, federal income taxes became a law, but it became a law only for the very wealthy. And the income tax was 1% of their earnings. But you were very wealthy. The average individual in America did not have taxes. So since they had already imposed a small 1% tax on the wealthy, they had a choice. Well, now that we're in the war effort, we're going to need some serious funds here. Should we impose taxes on all U.S. citizens, not just the wealthy? Or better yet, should we take loans from the citizens, issue bonds, promissory notes, and we give them their money back in the future with a little bit of interest? So the winner between these two choices were called Liberty bonds. And eventually, 1 in every 3 citizens would own them. That's very powerful movement. From 0 to 33% of the entire nation owning these bonds. That's a powerful movement. So one might ask, but why, Oliver, but why not taxes? A little history, which I sort of jumped the gun and gave you a little history. I don't want to read this specifically word for word, but the first federal income tax, guys, was enacted in 1861 during the Civil War. It was a temporary measure to fund the war effort. Now, this should make you understand that taxes are largely historically raised or imposed because of war. War is the big driver. It always has been the big driver, all right? But during this 1861 tax imposition, it was only a flat 3% tax rate on the wealthy at the time. Now, the wealthy at the time earned incomes of over $800. That's right, a year. You were considered wealthy, the top echelon, if you earned $800 a year back in 1861. That's extraordinarily wealthy. It only affected a very small portion of the population. Now, this tax was repealed in 1872, so we went back to 0 taxes for U.S. citizens. You see, now, step 2, in 1913, simultaneously, for the most part, with the formation of the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank, all right, the ratification of the 16th Amendment came into place where now a permanent tax, 1% tax on incomes over $3,000 were imposed. That's about $90,000 in today's dollars. So anyone making over $90,000 in today's dollars got a 1% tax on their incomes imposed. Now, this affected at the time less than 1% of the population at first. It targeted high earners. This was in 1913. Now remember, I told you U.S. joined the war in 1917. This was before they joined the war. Now, the tax remained a class tax. This tax here remained a wealthy tax until the 1940s, all right? In 1939, only about 5% of American workers paid federal income tax. Only 5% paid taxes in 1939, all right? But by 1944, because of certain changes, the Revenue Act of 1942, lowering the income level, making it almost so low that everyone had to pay taxes, around 64%. We went from 5% paying taxes to 64% paying taxes in 5 years. By the war's end, 90% of all workers filed returns. You went from 5%, well, you went from 0% paying taxes to 1% paying taxes. See the 1%. To 5% paying taxes, to 90% paying taxes. So while bonds were the choice to fund the war, taxes kicked in too. That's the only thing I'm pointing out here. You see, America chose instead to first push bonds. Do you understand? They first push bonds. Okay? Liberty bonds. They chose, instead of taxes, they chose liberty bonds. But taxes came later to also fund the war, to fund wars. All right? Okay. Now, how did the America go about getting its citizens to buy into bonds? This is the US bond market revolution. This was America. They went on a huge marketing campaign, guys. This was America's most recognized advertisement right here. The Statue of Liberty pointing directly at you saying, "Buy my bonds, bitch, or perish." Hey, you over there, you walking on the street, you riding in the car, you buying groceries over there, buy my bonds or perish. It's a very powerful theme. This became one of the major marketing pieces that caused many Americans to buy bonds. Buy bonds or perish. Think of the marketing message there. The marketing effort also targeted women. Women was targeted as well. On the women's side, you had things like this marketing piece where there's an innocent girl. You're the innocent girl with her "American must stay free." Please keep America free for me. Please buy war bonds. I want my America free. Little innocent girl there. Now, the marketing for men was a little bit different. Uncle Sam, you'd have something like Uncle Sam with a rifle. If you can't enlist, invest. But this was the marketing for women. Bond buys were seen as honorable as military service. If you can't enlist in the army, if you can't enlist in the military, then buy bonds. It's the same thing. As honorable as going to war for your country. Then they tried the identity angle. Wear the buy a Liberty bond button. I own a Liberty bond. People had these buttons all over the place. Wear this button as a badge of honor. Citizens wore their patriotism visibly for all to see. I want to give you a little glimpse of where I'm going. I don't want you to be bored by this history. It's going somewhere, but I want to give you a little glimpse of where it's going. Got a question for you. Do you know anyone buying bonds via patriotism today? I'm just curious. Anyone in your family? Any of your friends? Buying bonds because I'm patriotic. I want to wear this badge of honor. I'm a bond owner. Anyone? I'm just curious. Just curious. So I hope you see where I'm going here. This will never, ever happen again. One shot, baby. It's over. Do you understand? This bond movement is freaking over. But I want to show you that bond movement at its peak. All right, let's get back. All right. All right. I own a Liberty bond. Wear this button as a badge of honor. Citizens wore their patriotism every single day on their shirts, on their suit jackets, at work, in the grocery store, at their butcher shop, buying meat, in their churches. And it created this urge. If you don't have a Liberty badge, who are you and what the heck is wrong with you? You're not patriotic? It's created a surge. Then the government did the Hollywood angle. Oh yeah, they got Hollywood in on it. Sound familiar, people? Sound familiar? Get Hollywood backing the political push for something? Does it sound familiar? No, I don't believe you. All right. Hollywood joined the effort with unprecedented star power. Charlie Chaplin juggled for laughs before pitching to support the war. Buy bonds, Charlie Chaplin would say. Mary Pickford, which was a very famous and beautiful model of the day, she kissed bond buyers in front of cheering crowds. She would stand out in some of the biggest bond booths where you would go buy bonds, and men would line up to buy bonds just to get a kiss from Mary Pickford. One New York rally drew 30,000 people. Oh, the government knew how to market people. OMG. Getting Hollywood involved. Then they had the peer pressure angle. Where is your Liberty bond, bitch? Where is it? Where is your button? I don't see you have a button. What the heck is wrong with you? Shall we be more, look, shall we be more, look at this guilt trip here, guys. Shall we be more tender with our dollars than with the lives of our sons? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. This was the pressure angle. You buy a Liberty bond today, and I'll do the rest. This was a powerful, powerful angle. It guilted people. It socially ostracized anyone who was not wearing a button. Do you understand? It ostracized them. It made them feel bad. It made them outcasts in society. And then they started using the children. And this angle was the biggest runaway success. Children were turned into sales agents. Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts went door to door, not selling cookies, but selling bonds. That's right, people. The Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts were given mandates to go out and sell bonds, not cookies, not candy, bonds. Imagine a 4-year-old, a 6-year-old, an 8-year-old knocking on your door in a Boy Scout suit, a Girl Scout suit. Cute, adorable. Not leaving your doorstep until you buy a bond. Schools ran campaigns and competitions for which child could sell the most bonds. Children became America's most trusted messengers and its most effective sales staff. Powerful. Powerful marketing campaigns. The artist angle. Oh yes, they brought the artists in too. At the time, Norman Rockwell was one of the world's most famous artists. He came up with they had him do a tour. It was called the Four Freedoms Paintings Tour. He toured the entire nation, drawing over 1 million visitors. Next to every painting that millions came to see, there was a booth to buy bonds, of course. Right next to every single Norman Rockwell painting. That single tour raised $130 million in bonds for the war effort, to keep you free, to protect your children's future. Then there was the don't be left out angle they used. Emotion sold more bonds than logic here. The idea was that if every working person you saw owned war bonds, then you must own them too. The man walking down the street has a pen. The next door neighbor has a pen. The post office clerk has a war bond pen. Your pastor has it. The butcher has it. The shoemaker has it. They were all assumed to be bond owners, so should you. Then there was the beauty angle. Beautiful women in flowing white dresses. Now, it's arguable whether you consider this woman beautiful, but back in the day, I'm assuming that was considered beautiful. In a flowing white dress, waving an American flag, American flag above marching troops here. This became a hot thing. Boys had these posters in their rooms. Gyms and locker rooms had them plastered on the walls. Classrooms had them. Fight or buy bonds. Buying bonds was considered just as important as fighting the war. By World War II, 85 million Americans had bought bonds. 2/3 of every household in the United States. Marketing campaign complete. But then there was the parents' deepest fears angle. The most psychologically powerful image targeted parents' deepest fears. Look at this, 3 innocent children. Look at the shadow in the background. Playing in a peaceful meadow, above them loomed a dark, threatening shadow. Look at the statement here. Don't let that shadow touch them. Buy war bonds. Wow. Wow. Powerful. The fear angle. The fear angle. That was effective too. Now, after the war, this message fell flat. There was no drive, there was no fear, there was no war in place. So now what do? How do we sell bonds now? The war is over. But we don't want to stop this. We don't want to stop this train. We don't want to stop this gravy train. How do we keep this up? How do we convince people to continue to buy bonds? Let's tell them it's savings. Yeah. Let's market a whole savings thing. When the war ended, the urgency faded, but behavior didn't. Why? Because the government shifted messaging from patriotism to financial security. Buy a government bond and secure your future. Buy a government bond and be safe. Buy a government bond for your kids. Buy a government bond for your kids' graduation. Buy a government bond as a gift. They were sold freaking in post offices, in banks, in supermarkets, in convenience stores. The messages would read, back your future with U.S. savings bonds. Bonds became fixtures of family life, gifts for graduations, etc. Guys, I remember my mother bought bonds for me. I remember this. And it was supposed to be for my graduation, that I would be able to cash them at graduation. She held them back. And I convinced her when I was 15 years old, Mom, please, let me cash them now to buy my first car. True story. And my mom cashed out U.S. savings bonds early for me to buy my first car. I was 15 years old, going on 16. And she said, now remember, this is your graduation gift. So don't be all sad if you don't get a graduation gift because you got your car. All right? My mom bought into these as well. All right. So what's the point here, guys? The point is that this has never happened again. One shot. Never again were Americans sold a war. Never were they marketed at to give money because of their patriotism. The 1960s came, which was a time of strife and conflict. A lack of patriotism started to rise. Even in the 1970s, that lack of patriotism even rose to higher heights through the hippie movement. There was no way to do this again. So, not only has it never happened again, it will never happen again with bonds. Now, think about this, people. I want you to think about this. Patriotism all over the world is at an all-time new low. There's no going to your citizenry for bonds. This is why America and all of the countries, for the most part, could no longer raise capital from their own citizens. They have to raise it from the rest of the world. America, having the world reserve currency, has had the greatest ability to raise money from everyone else in the world, not their own citizens as much, but everyone else in the world, because of their world reserve currency status. So there was no need really to tap the American citizenry, because after World War II, they made sure that the US dollar was the world reserve currency. So now the world can invest in us. We don't need our citizens to invest in us. But today, not even the world wants that investment. Remember, we talked about it. Bonds are a future promise for future dollars later, but we know the dollar declines over time. So you're giving dollars today that are more valuable and receiving dollars later that are less valuable. People have caught on to this. No way, I don't want this crap. I'm not doing it anymore. So America has to buy its own bonds. It has to print its own money to buy its own bonds. Printing the money causes the money's value to drop even faster. This is the dilemma we find ourselves in today. All right? All right. All right. I'm sorry if I bored you with that history lesson, but it's going to play into the rest of our presentation, you'll see. All right? The new era. It will happen with Bitcoin, and it has already started. I want you to understand this. You see, I believe, people, that all of those movements that you saw that drove war bonds. You want to be free? Buy war bonds. No, now you want to be free? Buy Bitcoin. Why? Why buy Bitcoin if you want to be free? Because this is the first time in the history of human mankind where a money cannot be confiscated, cannot be debased, cannot be taken against your will. All right? Cannot be stolen, cannot be attacked, cannot be hacked. The first time in history. You want to be free from tyranny? You want to be free from confiscation? You want to be free from your money being debased by politicians with the stroke of a pen? You want to be free of all that? Buy Bitcoin. Remember the fear angle? Your children. You want a safe future for your children. Buy Bitcoin. It used to be buy bonds if you want a safe future for your children. If you want a graduation present for your children, buy bonds. No, buy Bitcoin. Because never in the history of Bitcoin and never will it ever not be higher every 4 years of its life, forever. Bitcoin will be higher in value every 4 years for the rest of your life, for the life of your children, and their children. That will never, ever, ever stop. It is the closest thing to a financial guarantee. It's maths, baby. It's maths. Every 4 years, the outgoing supply gets cut in half. It is a virtual guarantee that increased scarcity and increased demand causes prices to rise. And Bitcoin is a mathematical model to cut supply and increase demand forever. And so what a lot of people don't understand here, people, is that Bitcoin doesn't work off of a 1-year clock. It works off of a 4-year leap year clock. Bitcoin's 1 year is 4 years. So every birthday, let's say Bitcoin has a real birthday every 4 years. It's really supposed to be viewed that way. Every 4 years, it guarantees it makes you wealthier, makes you higher, makes you stronger, makes you more powerful, makes you more independent, makes you more free, makes you richer, makes you more invincible every 4 years of your life, forever. And if you pass that on to your children, every 4 years of their life, forever. It will not be bonds that you buy for graduation presents anymore. It will be Bitcoin. It will not be bonds that you save in like before. It will be Bitcoin that you save in. Do you understand this? All the themes that you saw pushing bonds are the same themes that are going to push Bitcoin. Already right now, Bitcoiners are ridiculing those who do not see this, do not believe this. The pressure, the peer pressure is starting to build. Even on Wall Street, that peer pressure that they used to apply with bonds. Where's your badge? Where's your freaking Bitcoin? You can't be that stupid. You can't be that dumb. You can't be that behind. It's 16 years now. Wake up, bro. That's the peer pressure part of it. Everything that was applied to push bonds is being applied for Bitcoin right now. And Bitcoin doesn't have a marketing department like the US government had. It's other users are the marketing department for Bitcoin. You've got BlackRock CEO Larry Fink going all over the world saying, if you fear government debasement, or government tyranny, Bitcoin is your number one choice. This is the head of the world's number one management firm on planet Earth. traveling the globe, preaching the Bitcoin solves fear equation. Every theme I mapped out that America used for bonds is now being used for Bitcoin, and it will crescendo and crescendo and crescendo until it moves from 0% 2009. So remember the tax climb to 1%, to 5%, to 60%, to 90%. It's going there. It's going there. Let's get back. I'm going to freaking blow your mind with this. Real estate, guys. So we tackle bonds. Real estate is collapsing against Bitcoin. What do I mean by that? Now remember, the real estate market is the biggest bucket of all. This is where more money is stored, not to live in, but just to sock away money in, because the dollars are declining. 10%, 12%, 15% a year. So because my dollars are declining, I need to move the dollars into something that doesn't decline as much, or that doesn't decline at all. Now, here's the thing, guys. Dollars declining raises hard assets. Real estate is a hard asset. Gold is a hard asset. Bitcoin is a hard asset. You see? Bonds are not as hard. Money is not hard. Assets have some hard ability to them. Meaning, what does hard mean? Arts and collectibles are hard. All of these buckets are considered hard money except money itself. This is a loser, okay? So when your dollars are declining in value, it automatically means your gold is rising relative to the dollar. Your arts and collectibles are rising relative to the dollar. It's like a seesaw, right? Dollars down, hard assets up. You see? And when dollars go up, hard assets go down. It's an indirect relationship. So always understand that as the dollar loses value, Bitcoin has to gain value. Do you understand? Does this make sense? As the dollar gets debased, okay? Tell me if this makes sense. As the dollar loses value, it means guaranteed that Bitcoin has to gain value. It's an inverse relationship. It's math. No one can change that. Do you understand this? Tell me you understand this. All right? Let me know if you understand this. You understand this? I know we're on a little bit of a delay. Second here. Yes, okay. So I've got another question for you. Will the dollar ever stop losing purchasing power? Which means that will the dollar stop being printed? Is there a point in the future where the dollar, they just stop printing the dollar, stop printing? Is there ever a point in our future where the dollar will not be printed, which means that the dollar will stop going down? Ever? Never. All right? It's never happened in history, and it never will. You understand? Take a look. Take a look. Why is this not going? There you go. This is up to 2022. This is down here now. Do you understand? So since the Federal Reserve came into being, this was an anomaly, guys. This will never happen again. Do you understand that? That's an anomaly. That will never, ever, ever happen again. Stabilization. It's down forever until it's zero. Every single currency in the history of the world has gone to zero, and the US dollar is going to zero. There are no exceptions. All fiat currencies go to zero. You don't see any Roman denarius floating around, do you? What about Italian lira? French francs? All money disappears. All money goes to zero. And you can look at the chart. Guys, this is not a success story, but yet you go out every single day and you give up your life, your time, your effort, your energy, your skill, your education. You hand it over, all of that. You leave your house, you leave your kids. You go to school and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars for a piece of paper to go to work for this, and look at it. That's not a success story. But this is our guarantee that Bitcoin will always do this. It's an inverse relationship. Now, get this. Get this, people. Here's the beautiful thing. Whew. This is freaking beautiful. Listen to me. This is beautiful. For every dollar lost in purchasing power is $18 in gain. It's an 18-to-1 right now. Now, this has actually been as high as 118. Every dollar is 118. But I want you to think about this. Think about how this can secure your future, knowing that if 4 years from now, the dollar has lost 40% of its purchasing power, 40% times 18 in the opposite direction? You're freaking kidding me? It's an inverse relationship, but it's not a one-to-one inverse relationship, people. Sometimes it's 20-to-1. Sometimes it's 40-to-1. Sometimes it's 118-to-1. But it's never 1-to-1. Lose a dollar, gain 18. Lose a dollar, gain 60. Lose a dollar, gain 118. It's always a multiple every 4 years, forever, for the rest of your life. This will not stop. The dollar will not stop going down. The printing press will not stop, which is a guarantee that Bitcoin will not stop going up. It will not stop doubling and tripling and quadrupling because the dollar will not stop going down. When you understand this, it's the only guarantee we have in life today, in our financial lives. Our guarantee, money will always be printed. Our guarantee that 4 years to 4 years, it will be printed a lot, and the reduction in dollars will be huge, which means that the Bitcoin price will be huge to the upside every 4 years of your life until you die. We don't have another guarantee like this. That guarantee does not exist in the equity market. That guarantee does not exist in the real estate market. That guarantee doesn't exist in the bond market, people. That guarantee doesn't exist anywhere in life except the dollar and Bitcoin. You can bet your bottom dollar that the dollar will always be printed, and you can bet your bottom dollar as a result of that, Bitcoin will always be higher by many multiples, 18, 40, 60, 118. You can't lose. If you understand the math, you can't lose, people. All you have to do is pull yourself out of the day-to-day. Forget the day-to-day fluctuation and think Bitcoin year to year, which is 4 years. If I told you, what if you could increase your life, your whole life, by 18 times? I want you to think about this, people. Think about how powerful this is. What if I said, in the next 4 years, you have a mathematical guarantee to take your whole life, what it is right now, your whole life, meaning everything from the day you were born until now, you've accomplished, you've done, you've set forth into the world, you've earned, you saved, you've accumulated everything from the day you entered this world until today. And you take your whole world today and multiply that 18 times. What if I told you there was a guarantee that was available to 18x your life? You see, the last 4 years, 21x'd mine and all of my Bitcoiners. We 21x'd our lives 21 times. What if I told you the next 4 years was an 18x guarantee? Think about it, people. Mathematical certainty. This is not hyperbole. This is not something that's never happened. It happens every 4 years. This is not something that's rooted in math that you can check yourself. This is not rooted in something that we know is not a guarantee. The dollar will always be printed. The dollar will always be substantially less every 4 years, which means that Bitcoin is substantially up every 4 years. We know this. This is why the BlackRocks of the world have come. The Fidelities of the world have come. The banks are coming. The sovereign wealth funds are coming. The nation states are coming. The President of the United States, Strategic Bitcoin Reserve, all the states, virtually all the states in the United States. Why do you think that's happening? The banks are coming. The reserve banks throughout the world are coming. The countries are coming. The states are coming. The pension funds are coming. Do you understand this? Everyone's coming. But there's only a small little hole for them to get through, 21 million. We can't stretch that hole. That's rigid. So you got the whole world is coming to try to jam into this little hole here. Powerful. When you understand this, guys, man, you can beef up your life like no tomorrow. Wow. Do you understand? That you can beef up your life? Guys, real estate is crashing against Bitcoin. Now think about this, guys. I am using something like $400 more or less. I think 411 maybe. I can't remember the number. But guys, the average home in America is about this, 411. Forgive me if my number's off, but it's not off by a lot. I promise you. Average home in America is 400 today. The average home in 2017 would take you 515 Bitcoin to buy. Today, to buy The average home in America takes you 3.7 Bitcoin. Do you see the crash? Tell me, do you see the crash? Guys, in 2030, I say this is maybe 0.25 of Bitcoin buys you the average home in America. 2030. It's crashing. 515, 3.7, 0.25. Even if I want to be conservative and say 1 Bitcoin in 2030, I just think that's ridiculous. It's going to be at half maybe or a quarter by 2030. Now, why? Why am I telling you that, guys, you're going to be able to, as a Bitcoiner, get anything in the world you want forever. After 2030, virtually anything in the world. But you got to accumulate it now. You're going to be the elite. You're the one who's going to hold the gold. There used to be a saying, he who owns the gold makes the rules. That's changed. He who owns the Bitcoin will make the rules. They will roll out red carpets for you and your family because you have Bitcoin. Oh my God, you have Bitcoin? Right this way, sir. Right this way, madam. What can we get you? Anything your heart desires. It's going there. I'm telling you. You can see it in the numbers. 515 Bitcoin bought a home. The average home in America. Then, what was it? Then in 2024, what was it? And guys, let's do the math. Let's do the math, right? When I got into Bitcoin, we can do the math. We can do the math for when I got into Bitcoin. Let me bring up the calculator. So I got into Bitcoin. My lowest price is $3,800. All right. Let's take the same $400,000 home. All right. And divide that into 3,800. How many Bitcoin when I got into Bitcoin in 2020? 105.3 Bitcoin. Now I want you to think about this. We went from 515 in 2017. In 2020, we went to 105. Okay? In 2025, you only need 3.7. In 2030, I believe you'll need something like, all right, let's make it a third. 0.33 Bitcoin. 2040, you get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying. Now, I want to share something with you. I want you to understand the dynamic here. But Oliver, real estate is still a good investment. Real estate is still a good investment. No, it's not. It's a great place to raise your family, to live in. As an investment, not anymore. If you're using real estate as an investment, you're in the past. It's now Bitcoin. I showed you the numbers. So think about this, people. Think about this. I want you to think about this. If in 2017, I needed 515 Bitcoin to buy a home. The average home, 500. If I wanted $1 million home, forget about it. But that's the average home in 2017, 515 Bitcoin. Today, I need 3.7 to buy $400,000 home. 3.7. So I'm thinking 515 to 3? Wait, remember 2020 was 105. Wait a minute. 515. I need 515 Bitcoin? 2020. Oh, wait, I only need 105 now. I'm going to hold off. But wait, now I only need 3. I'm going to wait until I need 1. Then when it gets to 1, I'm going to say, no, I'm going to wait until I need 1/2. You see where I'm going? When you know that your real estate is crashing against what you own, you're not quick to put it there. You're not quick to put 515 Bitcoin in a house when you know 4 years from now, that's 105 Bitcoin. 4 years from that, that's 3 Bitcoin. 4 years from that, that's 1/2 Bitcoin. 4 years from that, that's 0.0007 Bitcoin. Or whatever. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's why the money's not going to keep going to these other bullshit things. It's not going to be going to homes anymore. It's going to be going to that. It's not going to be going to bonds, which are a future promise for more debased dollars. It's going to be going to that. It's not going to be going to the stock market that delivers 12% a year on average. It's going to be going to that. As more and more people get educated, as more and more people understand the math, the guarantee that you have 4 years to 4 years to 4 years to 4 years. The governments are already coming. The banks are coming. The pension funds are coming. The sovereign wealth funds are already coming. The biggest money management firms, BlackRocks, the Fidelities of the world, they're coming. They're here already. The president of the free world, the US government, one of the largest owners of Bitcoin in the world, second country in the world with a strategic Bitcoin reserve, or at least first major country in the world, strategic Bitcoin reserve. Guys, if you can't see the writing on the wall by now, what planet are you on? It's crazy. I'm not done yet. This is going to get crazier. You'll see. This is crazy, Oliver. This is crazy. No, it's going to get crazier. It's going to get crazier. All right. Guys, Bitcoin is already eating real estate, because the way you look at it is, what percentage of the global real estate does Bitcoin represent? In 2019, Bitcoin's network value, the value of the entire network, was 0.04% of the global real estate market. Now, Bitcoin is 0.6% of that $370 trillion number. This is going to keep rising forever until real estate goes to its utilitarian value, utility value. Because many of you now, after my talk with you today, some of you are going to sell a home and all or part of the proceeds will go to Bitcoin. Some of you were thinking about, some of you are going to change your decision to buy a home and buy Bitcoin instead because of our talk today. That's happening every single hour of the day, those decisions. I know tons of people who did not buy a house and bought Bitcoin instead. I know tons of people who sold an extra home to get more Bitcoin. I know many people who stopped going into bonds and started going into Bitcoin instead. This is only getting started. Remember, guys, it's a freaking baby. Don't use price, use this. Do you understand? It's the baby of the bunch. It has a lot of growing up to do. You're early. You don't judge it on the US dollar price. You judge it on what percentage of the global value is it. Nothing in the world has reached $1 trillion valuation faster than Bitcoin. And it is going to, in short order, eat through every single box you see because it's superior to them all. Bitcoin will suck the value not just out of bonds and real estate, but every other asset class that is used to store wealth. Collectible stocks, bonds, real estate, fiat, commodities, everything. We're going to 500 trillion. That's a mistake. September, the gift that starts it all. I want to talk to you a little bit about September. My Bitcoiners and traders know that for virtually all financial markets, September is the weakest month of the year. Not every year. This is just a general overall statistic. Do you understand? Raguda says, I'm selling my home. Awesome. So check this out, guys. Check this out. I need you to understand this. All right, this is important. There are financial markets are very cyclical in nature. And when you understand generally what those cycles are, you can really dramatically and you can improve your timing for certain things by orders of magnitude. So let me give you an example and write these things down, guys. Just trust me, take notes on this. Statistically, the most bullish month of the year is May. April into May. All right? That's the most bullish single month of the year. It actually starts in April and ends in May. Not every year, but statistically, that's the most bullish month of the year, May. Okay? Statistically, the most bearish month of the year for all financial markets is September. Okay? Write that down. So the biggest down month statistically is September. The sloppiest month, the biggest down month, September. The biggest up month, May. Now, let's do the 3-month period. The most bearish 3-month period, we're going back decade after decade until today, guys, this exists. And it's reliable. The most bearish is July, August, September. It spills into some of August sometimes too. So it's like part of July into the early part of October. But it's 3 months, virtually every single year. And you know what's interesting? That the most bullish 3 months out of the year follows the most bearish 3 months out of the year, which should make sense. Down, then up, right? Down, then up, right? Down, then up. Squat, then leap. Pull back, then forward, right? That's the natural order of things, right? If you want to jump over a puddle, you step back, then you leap forward. If you want to jump up as high as you can, you leap, you squat down first, then you leap. You want to pull a bow and arrow and shoot it far? The further you pull it back, the further it goes forward once you release it. So, July, August, September, what's next? October, November, December. The squat precedes the leap. And let me tell you something. Every freaking year, the news gets it wrong, even though this is so predictable. The news gets it wrong. They get thrown every single year. Your average market player out there on Twitter, X, gets it wrong. No one sees it. No one understands it. And they get shaken off and they get frustrated the most right into the bottom, September. They get frustrated into September. They give up in September. They go short in September. Are you freaking kidding me? Really? Do you understand this, guys? Do you understand the cycles now? 3 month sloppiness, September is down, creates the bottom, and then we're off to the races. Do you understand this? Now, a few of you tell me you understand this. It's freaking virtually every single year, and the world forgets. I don't want you to forget. Now, check this out. Where are we? We're at the end of September. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding me? We've got this thing. Do you understand what's next? Do you understand that it's now time to freaking rock, not time to freak out, not time to have doubts. It's time to freaking pile in. I am telling you, we are on the verge. We've got days to a couple of weeks at most where you're going to see, mark my words, save this spot, record my words. You're going to see one of the most epic runs in Bitcoin's freaking history. Do you know why I believe that the next few months will kick off one of Bitcoin's most major runs? Let me tell you why. Because all the other runs, as spectacular as they were, did not have a U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve, did not have the president of the free world owning Bitcoin himself, 2.3 Bitcoin himself, and through his own country, did not have the sons of the president of the free world being 1,000% in Bitcoin and owning one of the biggest Bitcoin mining firms in the world, did not have banks now being approved to custody Bitcoin, did not have Bitcoin spot, Bitcoin ETFs, did not have the increase in the number of Bitcoin treasury companies, did not have regulatory security, did not have an accommodative SEC, did not have states adopting Bitcoin by the week, did not have other countries starting to come on board, did not have the Bitcoin mining industry exploding like this. I can go on and freaking on and on. All those big moves did not have these big things behind them. Did not have institutional sponsorship, did not have a permanent institutional bid in the market, did not have the growing global acceptance, did not have Wall Street on board, did not have pension funds on board. You have no idea what's right in front of you. Most of you don't. Because if you did, you would be working on 18xing your life over the next 4 years. You would be going to your spouse, your husband, your wife, and sitting your family down and saying, listen, over the next 4 years, we're going to 18x everything we've ever done. And this is how we're going to do it. That's what you would be doing. You wouldn't lift your head up for a second for 4 straight years. You would be on the grind if you really knew. If you knew what was coming by 2030, you would dedicate your life to this. If you really saw the writing on the wall, there would be no question. There would be no doubt. If you knew the math that I explained to you today, every 4 years, the supply gets cut in half. Every 4 years, the demand is up by orders of magnitude. Shrinking supply, orders of magnitude more demand, price through the roof. Dollars down, guaranteed Bitcoin's up. Guaranteed money printer go burr. If you understood that there was no way to lose, if you understood that this is the only guarantee we have in life, and we should consider ourselves blessed beyond all others for being alive at this time and being able to grab the bull by the horns before it's too late. You don't understand. If you're not doing those things, you don't understand. You still believe the lie. You still believe bonds. You still believe houses, real estate, even though I showed you 515 to 105 to 3.7. Even though I showed you that, you still believe real estate. You still believe bonds are safe. Oh, Oliver, bonds are safe. You still believe it. 16 years in your face, destroying everything that human beings have ever held dear, destroying the equity market, destroying the bond market, destroying the real estate market, destroying the gold market, destroying everything on planet Earth, everything that human beings have ever created, everything that human beings have ever worshiped, ever held dear. Bitcoin destroys it, everything. 16 years in your face, and you still, but Oliver, you don't see it. Obinda, I just picked 20, is asking me why 2030. I just picked 2030 out of a hat. But let me try to demonstrate something for you if I can, guys, if I can. All right, I'm going to try to do this. Check this out. This is your typical September. You see the bar? That's September. That's what everyone's freaking out about. Not understanding that you want September to squat so that the most bullish period is up. You don't get big ups unless you get a squat first. You want September to squat. You want September to drop. This is what sets up the October, November, December exponential run. And I believe we 3x plus. That's right, 3x. Remember, guys, last cycle, Bitcoin 21x'd. $3xing, I believe, into the end of the year. That puts Bitcoin over $300,000 a coin. That's right. That's my prediction, and I'm sticking to it. But even if I'm wrong, I will be directionally correct. You don't have to be right with a specific number as long as you get the direction right. And I am telling you, the direction is up. Now, every single 4 years, Bitcoin adds a zero. Listen to me carefully, people. Every 4 years, Bitcoin adds a zero. So when I got into Bitcoin, Bitcoin added the zero to 10,000. So it went from 1,000, which I did not participate in this epoch. I got in on the epoch that Bitcoin achieved the next zero. It added a zero and achieved 10,000. And then this cycle, this is the epoch that we are in right now, it added another zero. These are 4-year cycles. So in this 4-year cycle, it added 100,000. It added another zero. See, the zeros add every 4 years. So this is 2020. This is 2024. And this is 2016. Now we have 2028. Now, you tell me, you had 2012, 100. Now, 2028, I know you know it. I just want to see it. Okay? I just want to see it. Let me know. What's the number? Fill it in. Fill in 2028. I showed you 2012, 2016, 2020, 2024, which we just achieved. What's 2028? What's the number? That's right. Now, guys, that's a 10x. Do you understand? That's a 10x. But remember, it doesn't stop there. It keeps going, so it's going to be more than a 10x. It doesn't stop there. Like Bitcoin's not stopping at 100. It's going way higher than 100. But I just want you to understand the math behind it. Every 4 years, we add a zero. That's not going to stop. All right? Now, check this out. Smoke on this. Smoke on this. If 2028 adds a zero, we're at 1 million. Shall we look at 2030? Add another zero. That's 10 million. Do you see where I'm getting at, people? Do you see why Bitcoin will eat the world? You're not getting this anywhere else. You're not getting this in bonds. You're not getting this in your real estate investments. You're not getting this in your stocks. You're not getting this guarantee. Now, I know some of you are like, but Oliver. Why do they always hold their hands like this and do their thumbs like that in their head? Oliver. I don't know why, but that's just a thing. Oliver. I know some of you are asking, but Oliver, how can you be sure it's going to continue? We discussed this. How do we know that the dollar will always be printed? More and more and more and more. We know it. How do we know that all fiat currencies go to zero? We know it. This is historical. This is factual. This is not theory. We know that printing won't stop and will get bigger and bigger. That's the nature of the beast. So if printing gets bigger and bigger, Bitcoin gets bigger and bigger. We know the dollar will not stop going down. We know the dollar will not stop being printed, which means we know Bitcoin will not stop going up. But remember, it goes up by many multiples. Why is there a many multiple aspect to this? Because of the limited supply. That's the mathematical guarantee that you always have the multiple. Why will you always have lose $1, gain 18? Lose $1, gain 60. Lose $1, gain 100. It's all over the place, but it's a lot. It's always a lot. Why do we have that multiple? Because the limited supply, the cut of the issuance in half, the actual exponential increase in demand every 4 years. Trust me, guys, 4 years from now, more people will have and use Bitcoin. 4 years from that, more people will have and use Bitcoin. The demand is going up, but the supply is going down, multiple. You see, if the demand and the supply are equal. It's 1-to-1. But you don't have 1-to-1. And you can't change this dynamic. So you will always have a multiple. $1 equals $118. $1 equals $60. $1 equals $30. It's never going to be 1-to-1. Never. And you will probably never see anything less than 20. I'm using 18 as conservative, but you will probably never in your lifetime see less than a 20 multiple with Bitcoin in your whole lifetime. We're at 60 now. We're at 60. Think about that. We're at 60. And we're about to go, I think, to over 100 again. It fluctuates, just mind you, that multiple fluctuates. But Oliver, I don't get it, Oliver. That's what makes a market, I guess. That's what makes a market. Okay. All right, guys. So, guys, September is the dip we need. And thank goodness we got it. I was starting to get afraid. So, guys, look, from a technical point of view, oversold in September is a plus. Now, I'm not a huge user of these things. This is something I just grabbed that somebody was using. But as you can see, if you look at this indicator called the RSI, we haven't been this low in terms of being oversold since Bitcoin was at 74,000. Now we're oversold at 190. Next we'll be oversold at, 160,000. Then we'll be oversold at 220,000. You understand? These oversold marks will be higher and higher and higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. We were oversold back here in the 50,000s, right? Then we were oversold in the 30,000s. Then we were oversold in the teens. You get my point. It's just straight up if you ignore the jiggles. People get pulled into the jiggles. Now, this is from Mr. Lark, I believe, but I found it a good way to explain this to you, right? This is the September effect where we are right now, all right? So here was September 2024. You see, 2024. September was down 8%. in 2023. This is 2023. September was down 8%, and it rocked 77% in quarter four. But only because September, but look at the August-September down. You see? The 3-month down effect I showed you, down, then boom. This is September, almost always, guys. September down, 77%. Your real estate's not going to do that. Your bonds are not going to do that. Nothing's going to do that. Bitcoin is the fastest horse in the race. All right? All right, the next year in 2024, September, look at September, but look at your month, your 3 months, your monthly trend here, down. But September is down 18%. And boom, 101% in less than 3 months, quarter four. Why? Because September sets everything off. It's the springboard, people. And do you know how many people are going short here? You know how many people are going short there right now? You know how many people are going short there right now? I even saw a post from one of my guys going short there, and I'm like, what the heck? You know how many people lose faith in September? I actually love them because that's the only way we can buy if someone else is giving the scarcest asset on planet Earth up, right? So I'm glad they have it wrong. It just hurts when one of mine gets it wrong. I don't want you to get it wrong. Now, why, knowing this history, why is everyone freaking out because we're down 8%? When we're supposed to be down. I was concerned that we weren't dipping. I was concerned that we weren't squatting. How do you run without squatting? How do you leap without squatting? This squat is a gift. This September dip is not a crash. It's a freaking gift wrapped up in a bow for this. Every single time. Tell me you understand this. Tell me you understand the September springboard. Please tell me. Tell me you got it. I want to see your faces. Tell me. I want to see it. I'm going to sip coffee until I see it. Tell me you understand the September springboard. Tell me you understand what's next. Tell me you understand what's next for October, November, December. Tell me you understand that September kicks that off virtually every single year. So then what should you be doing? You know. You know. But Oliver, keep your butts to yourself. I don't want to see your butts. Keep your butts to yourself. Keep them covered. This is too important. All right, guys, let's get back to it. I'm almost done here. I'm almost done. I know I'm keeping you a long time, but I just get freaking excited about this stuff. All right, the Great Reset. Guys, the Great Reset. The U.S. is resetting everything with Bitcoin and stablecoins, guys. This is the combo. It's not by chance. All right? SEC changes the bank laws. That's called SAB 122. 121 prevented them from really custodying Bitcoin without being punitive. Now SAB 122 takes those punitive measures away. The banks are coming. The U.S. Strategic Bitcoin Reserve, the Stable Coin Act. Do you see the steps? Next announcement, buying Bitcoin, the US buying it in a tax neutral way, in a net neutral way for the strategic reserve. That's coming probably this year. ETFs. Putting ETFs and BTC treasury companies, putting a permanent bid in the Bitcoin market, meaning that there's always a bid to buy lower. This will stop Bitcoin from having the big crashes it used to have. Institutional permanent bid in the market. But the US is using stable coins and Bitcoin to reset the entire global financial system, the same way they did with the US dollar and oil in the 1970s. So as you recall, guys, President Nixon took America off the gold standard. So this used to be tied to gold. So gold prevented the free use of, prevented money printing over and beyond gold reserves. So what did President Nixon do? He took the gold tie off. He severed the convertibility of the US dollar into gold, kept the gold, gave everyone else that had gold stored in the US dollars. So think about how gangster this is. You sent your gold to me. I gave you dollars. But you could always come back and say, I want my gold back. Here's the dollars back. Give me my gold. But Nixon says, not now. I gave you dollars for the gold. I'm keeping the gold. You have the dollars. And he screwed the world. Kept the world's gold. And they were stuck with dollars. Then what he did, then what the US did was somewhat masterful. Check this out. Then Nixon starts working on, we're going to tie the dollar loosely to oil, meaning that the world runs on oil. So we're going to make a deal with Saudi and require that the only way other countries can buy oil for their survival is that they first have to get dollars and then they can buy oil. They first have to get dollars and then they can buy oil. They first have to get dollars and then they can buy oil. They cannot buy oil first. They must get dollars first and then use the dollars to buy the oil to survive. That's what's called the petrodollar. We have been operating on a petrodollar system since the 70s. So oil kind of replaced gold. But the current administration is in the throes of resetting this dollar, oil, petrodollar system. They're replacing it with what? The dollar Bitcoin system. Dollar, stablecoin, Bitcoin. And the race is on. The whole system, if you can read the tea leaves, read all the steps, don't tell me that the biggest money management firm in the world and Larry Fink came to Bitcoin on their own. That's all connected. All right, we need you to start getting into Bitcoin now because we're going to reset this shit. We're running out of time. Saudi's angry with us. They're starting to break our oil agreement. We're going to the next thing, Bitcoin. So Larry, get out there. You know what to do. Yeah, but the SEC, we'll take care of the SEC. Don't worry. We're getting rid of all of this SEC nonsense that they don't like. They don't like Bitcoin. We're getting rid of that. But what about the banks? We're changing the law. They're going to be able to, we're going to get the states in. We're going to develop a strategic Bitcoin reserve. We're going to announce that shit to the world. We already own more than almost every country. We're going to continue to accumulate. We're not selling anymore. We're going to back the Bitcoin mining industry. We're going to give the Michael Saylors of the world full reign to go accumulate as much as possible. We're going to make sure Wall Street backs the Michael Saylors of the world so that our companies are accumulating as much as possible. Our government is securing the Bitcoin network bigger and better than any other country in the world. We're the ones with the first strategic Bitcoin reserve, and we're going to start buying it at a more rapid pace than any other country in the world. You don't see the freaking writing on the wall that we're under one of the greatest resets in financial history. And then we're going to push the dollar to everyone in the world through stable coins. Bitcoin and the dollar. And the dollar we're going to put inside of a stable coin to get past all the regulations from the countries that prevented us from injecting the dollar into their system. The dollar in Bitcoin, baby, not the dollar in oil anymore. Do you at least partially see the writing on the wall? Do you see this? Can you see this? Can you see the pieces? It's there for you to see, really. It's crazy, right? Do you see it? I want to see. Liberator says, checkmate. That's right. America plays for keeps, people. America plays for keeps. Good, got it. Traka says, got it. Andrew Tess says, yes. Angela says, wow. Yes. What about altcoins? They will continue to die against Bitcoin in aggregate. There's 40 million shitcoins out there now and 40,000 attempts to copy Bitcoin. They're all failures. And don't point to one, that's dumb. When you have 40,000 and you can point to one, that's a failed project. Do you understand? Stop getting distracted. Let me tell you something, people. Ownership of scarcity and security is better than ownership of performance, even though performance Bitcoin has as well. Don't chase performance, chase scarcity. This is what the wealthy do. They chase scarcity. They don't chase performance. I can outperform Bitcoin here in Colombia by selling cocaine. I'm not chasing that shit, but I get security and scarcity through Bitcoin. Do you understand? Forget performance. Even Don't totally forget it, but I'm just saying, understand the hierarchy of things. Ownership of scarcity trumps performance. All right. All right, I'm almost done here, guys. I promise you. I promise you. So the Great Reset is on, guys. China doesn't want the U.S. bonds anymore. That's why their appetite for gold is skyrocketing. I believe that this moves to Bitcoin. If it hasn't already, countries will start to accumulate gold and Bitcoin. And eventually, they will start dumping gold for Bitcoin because Bitcoin is better on every front by orders of magnitude. You can't own gold in your head and travel across borders. You can't send gold at the speed of light from one corner of the earth to the other. You can't secure it without paying millions upon millions of dollars for insurance and for someone else to hold it for you. You can't hold $1 billion in your house. You can't hold $1 million of gold in your house. You will definitely get robbed, if not have your life taken away. But Bitcoin solves all of these things. And don't anyone here dare, don't you dare tell me, but Oliver, gold is physical and Bitcoin is not. I can touch gold, but I can't touch Bitcoin. In 2025, this is stupid. That's right, it's stupid. But Oliver, it's not physical. Stupid. Listen to me carefully. The greatest things in life, the things you cherish the most, you can't touch, you can't feel, you can't see. Our gods used to be physical. We used to worship stone statues. We used to worship the sun. We used to worship the moon. We used to worship the weather, the rain. We used to build structures that were gods. They were physical. Now, today, the vast majority of the world worships a God that cannot be touched, felt, seen. We've gone from the physical to the more sublime. Before, you had to travel to Mecca or travel to a location to give worship to your God. Today, you do not have to travel anywhere. Your God is with you at all times, but it cannot be touched, felt, or seen in the physical sense. All of the movement of life is from the gross to the ethereal, the physical to the sublime. We've been evolutionarily moving in this direction forever. Your pictures used to be physical. Now they're in your phone. You can't touch them, feel them, or taste them, or put it in the corner of your mouth, your picture in the corner of your mouth. Your movies used to go to Blockbuster and have a physical movie in your hand, a physical movie you put into the VCHR. You had a DVD you put into a DVD player. You had a cassette tape to listen to your music, or a disc, a DVD to listen to your music. Today, when's the last time you've seen a freaking album? When? You can't touch your music, you can't touch your movies, you can't touch your pictures, you can't touch your God. You can't touch your mail. You used to lick the back of disgusting envelopes and walk out to the mailbox to mail it. When's the last time you've done that? When's the last time you've sat there licking the stamps? Oh, that's 5 cents. That's 20 cents. When's the last time you've done that? The whole movement is from the physical to the non-physical. Everything has gone to the non-physical. The only thing, the last thing is money. Your pictures went, your mail went, your movies went, your phones went, your music went there. Everything went to the ethereal except money. Now it's money's turn. Gold, I can touch it. Bitcoin, I can't. From gross to sublime. Physical to the non-physical, the ethereal. And I'm telling you that everything that goes to the ethereal, everything that goes to the non-physical realm gets bigger. You have more pictures in your phone than you ever had in a physical album. You have more music available to you digitally than you ever had cassette tapes or CDs. You have more availability to music, to movies today than you ever had DVDs or VHSs. You have more email per hour than at any time in the history of the world of people mailing physical letters. The non-physical is always exponentially bigger, more powerful, and more valuable. So if gold is $22 trillion and Bitcoin is $2 trillion, and gold is the old analog thing, and Bitcoin is the new ethereal thing, Bitcoin 2 trillion is going to 22 trillion, and it's not stopping. The same way the mail didn't stop at even. Digital mail dwarfs physical mail. Digital music dwarfs physical music. Digital movies dwarf physical movies. Do you understand that the digital always will be bigger and more valuable in your life? So this idea, but Oliver, it's not physical, is absolutely dumb today. I'm sorry, it's just stupid. Let me say this one last thing. The things that you will die for today, the things you cherish the most in your heart of hearts, the things that you value the most in your life as a human being cannot be touched, seen, felt, tasted. Love. Oh, yes, you can see an act of love, but show me where love resides. Who's holding it? What vault is it in? You will die for love. Honesty, where is it? Loyalty, where is it? Decency, show me where decency lives. I want to go there. I want to look decency in its eyes. I want to touch it. I want to poke it. I want to feel it. Justice. What country does justice reside in? Where is it? Can you take me there? Can you put justice in my hands? Peace. Where's that one? These are the most valuable things for the human race. They are not in the physical world. And I am telling you that the world's money is leaving the physical world the same way your pictures left, your mail left, your music left, your movies left, your phones left, your long distance operators left. They're all digital. Do you understand that the digital world is sucking everything that you value into it? So get off this, but Oliver, it's not physical. You sound stupid. I'm sorry. All right. That's my little preaching there to you. All right, guys. So there we go. The reset is underway, guys. I believe that this reset will be, all major resets happen over 4 turnings. We are in the 4th turning right now. And the reset is somewhere here. Complete, done, finished. A Bitcoin world. That is my thesis, and I'm sticking to it. The point is that we can front run this like a mofo. Do you understand? That's what my message is to you. We have the ability, like no other future generations after us, we can front run the new world, people. We can front run. First of all, we can freaking front run the next 3 months. Let's talk about that shit. We can front run the next 3 months, and we can front run the next 0 being added in 2028, and we can front run the next 0 added on top of that in 2030, and we can front run the reset that's going to happen, in my opinion, in the middle, be complete in the middle of the 2030s. We can front run it all. And if we front run it properly, we don't let the majority of it go, your future generations, your children's 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 children will remember your name. Your name. You will be the star of your entire bloodline. If you do this right, you will be the one with the pictures in your future generations' living rooms. The stories will be told about you because you changed the family's bloodline. You will be the wealthiest person to ever come in your whole family if you do this right. That is what I believe with every fiber of my being. All right. Last 5 minutes, guys. Last 5 minutes, I promise you. Powerful. Every state's coming, you know this. The 8th wonder of the world, guys. I believe that we triple from here. I believe we triple from here. Now, that could spill into next year, but I believe we triple. And if we triple from here, guys, where does that put the 8th wonder of the world? In the number 2 spot. I believe Bitcoin goes to number 2 not that long from now. Remember, last cycle, it 21x'd, double 21 times. I'm talking about doubling 3 times. A 3x makes Bitcoin the 2nd most valuable item on planet Earth. It's going there, people. Front run it, front run it, front run it. Bitcoin's adoption is killing the internet's adoption. Look at it. Look at it. We don't have 2025 complete yet, but it's probably going to be way up here because of the ETFs. It's beating the fastest growing technological revolution in the history of the world, the internet, which gobbled up everything and changed every corner of our lives, change the way we live in every corner of our lives, and Bitcoin's outpacing it. This is crazy. This scenario right here is sooner than you think. Wake up, people, and go to work. Wake up and go to work. It's coming. And when it does, I am going to, listen, I'm going to say, I told you so. And I'm going to say it and shout it to the freaking rooftops. You know why? Because I'm petty like that. I am petty like that. I am going to shout, I told you so to the rooftop. I'm going to make fun of you if you did not act, if you did not do this. I will do it. I will do it. I'm not above that. I'm petty. I'm warning you. All right, guys. Transparency for the world. Guys, the United States Reserve has never been audited in 109 years. Bitcoin gets audited for the world to see every 10 minutes of its life forever. There is nothing that has ever come into our purview fairer than Bitcoin. And they all bend a knee. Vanguard has been trying to resist going into Bitcoin, preventing their millions upon millions of clients from getting into Bitcoin. They've bent the knee. Everyone is bending the knee. You have to see the writing on the wall. Everyone, every naysayer, every resistor is bending the knee. They see the writing on the wall. This is your US dollar. This will never, ever, this will never, ever stop, guys. Never, ever stop. Never stop. This is year to date, 10%. You lost 10% year to date. And year to date, this is negative 10%. Bitcoin year to date, you know what it is? It's 66% and about to go ballistic October, November, December. Right now, you're plus 60%. No, I'm sorry. This is wrong. This is actually 1 year gain. Sorry. This is year to date. So this is probably 1 year, like almost like 15%, 18%. Negative 18% over a year. Bitcoin is plus 60%. But by the end of the year, this is maybe 300 something percent. We're going into the most dynamic part of the year, guys. It will always be like this. And this is what your money will always do. Most people do not see this as their money going down. They see this as beef going up. This is not beef going up. This is your money going down, which means that because your money went down, you need more of it to buy the same thing. The beef didn't change. I mean, the poundage here is pretty close. The beef didn't change. They didn't start making different types of cows. The cow is the freaking same. Your money has changed. Your money has gotten worth less. Therefore, you need more of it to buy the same thing. Bitcoin saves you from this. Now, very quickly, I have 2 programs. The Bitcoin Master Club, which I really believe every single one of you should participate in, especially as we move into this next 3 months, guys. It is going to be epic. And I want to show you how we can outperform Bitcoin. My traders and Bitcoiners, we outperform Bitcoin. We just do a little few tweaks to outperform Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is the thing. We add a few little things to give our Bitcoin an extra juice. I want you to be with us. Then there's the wealth program I have, which includes Bitcoin and stocks and other things, but to create massive wealth. And the goal is to greatly outperform Bitcoin, which we have done since the day I bought Bitcoin. Now, this is not taking away from Bitcoin. It's just knowing how to maneuver in a way where Bitcoin's up 300%, we're up 900%. If Bitcoin's up 1,000%, we're up 3,000% or 2,000%. You understand? So the wealth program includes everything I do for wealth. The Bitcoin just focuses on Bitcoin. All right? Now, those are the two programs. Now, let's talk about this. There's a 6-month membership in the Master Bitcoin Club, or a lifetime membership. So you got 3 choices here. You can say, Oliver, you know what? I'm gonna rock with you and I'm gonna be with you and all of your Bitcoiners. All right. I'm gonna follow you, your 5-step plan. I'm gonna see how this goes first. 6 months. And I'm telling you, at the end of 6 months, you will be wealthier. All right. Or you can say, I'm good. Listen, I'm going to do this for life. I want to be with Bitcoiners. I want to be with you. I want to know exactly every single time you buy. I want to know what you're doing to outperform Bitcoin. I want to know what you're adding, what you're subtracting. I want to be there with you every single day. I want to be able to contact you. I want to be able to talk to you every single day. I want to be able to ask you a question. I want to be there with you. I'm with my Bitcoiners every single day. I want this for life, Oliver, because I know you're in Bitcoin for life. So you got choice, 6 months, and you're with me every day, guys, or lifetime, your choice. Now, if you really want it all, it's the wealth program, which includes the lifetime. So you get the lifetime Bitcoin Club. You get my entire wealth system. You get a direct mentorship every 2 months. You learn directly from me. Every month we reconvene and go over new wealth plays. I share my 39 years of experience. And guys, we have, over the past decade, this group has been in existence from 2009 actually. But I started charging for membership in 2010. Some of our biggest winners are NVIDIA, from a split adjusted price of 50 cents, which we still have. Meta, which was Facebook at the time, which we still have. Microsoft, which we still have. Tesla, which we still have. Of course, Bitcoin, which we still have. MicroStrategy, which we still have. We have killed the market. We have outpaced the performance of Bitcoin by orders of magnitude, with Bitcoin as the base. You always want Bitcoin as the base, but you can beef it up by adding a few things in the right time, in the right way. That is what we do in the wealth program. We do it somewhat in just the Bitcoin as well, but we do it more thoroughly in the wealth program. And guys, these are just one fee forever. There's no hidden fees. There's no, okay, there's an extra monthly fee here and there's an extra quarterly fee here or there's an annual. No, one shot forever, for life, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, whatever. Forever. One payment. And that is it. And my Bitcoiners and traders, if they're listening here today, they can tell you in the comments right now if these programs have not changed their lives, have not made them wealthier, have not made them richer, have not made them more independent. They can tell you in the comments right now, my Bitcoiners, step up. My wealth traders, step up. Step up. Tell them. Tell them if this has changed your life forever. It's impossible, no. Now, these are giveaways. $500 for 6 months, guys. $5,000 forever. And in the wealth program, $10,000 forever, which includes everything. But I got something special for you. Look at this. Are you kidding me? Did you see that? Did you see the change? 500 to 192. Guys, this is a dinner. For 6 months, this is a dinner. $697 forever for decades? What does this come down to? A penny a day or something like that? And everything for $2,400. Guys, there are people who make $2,400 in one play, 1 week, 1 day. It's insane. And the reason I pressure my team to really drop these prices is because I want the barrier low enough for enough people to be able to take advantage. I wish I could do it for free. I really do, but I can't. There's a team, there's support, there's technology, there's stuff that makes your life better that I have to pay for. But I will tell you, you will outstrip this cost so exponentially that it will seem like it's free to you. I kid you not. My people right here can tell you it's true. Now, check this out. Enrollment is open until October 5th. Now, many of you know I am strict about this. I close the doors on my Bitcoin Club for 6 months. I only open it every 6 months, and there's a reason for that. Because I need to make sure that I get the new Bitcoiners coming in to a very high level of Bitcoinery. And if new people are coming in every day and I have to keep restarting, that is counterproductive. So I close the doors every 6 months. I get you to the highest level, from knowing how to hedge against your Bitcoin position in a bear market, from the best security practices, running your own node, all of that. And then I reopen the next 6 months and start again. So these doors will be closed October 5th. No exceptions. So enrollment is till October 5th. For lifetime, you will get a mini bonus course if you sign up before October 5th. And you will have exclusive access to my Discord channel. This is where I am every single day, every day. You have direct contact with me, direct DM access, direct access on the Discord. All your questions are answered. And let me tell you something. We have some extraordinarily powerful and very smart and intelligent people in our community. We are also supported by some of the top Bitcoin-related firms in this industry. They give you private support right in our own Discord channel. It's very, very powerful. There is nothing in the industry like this. All right? Open until October 5th. Now, the wealth is the same, open until October 5th. The price, at least. I let members come on anytime they want to, but this price is only available until October 5th. And what I'm providing here has an a la carte $15,000 value. So you get the full Trade for Life program. This is forever. You get the Bitcoin Life program forever. You get the mini course and access to not just the Bitcoin Discord, but the Wealth Discord as well. Again, I'm available every day. All right? We're together every day. We're walking the journey every day together. It's powerful. Now, I know there are a lot of people out there who are waiting to try to scam you. Please be careful. All right? They hang out in my events. They pretend to be some of these people. I need you being very careful, okay? All right? Be very careful. If you are in doubt of anything, you can DM me on my Twitter handle. All right? But just make sure you're dealing with one of these people. It's this number, and more specifically, it's this email, and you can't go wrong. If it's this email, you can't go wrong. But if you ever have a doubt, you DM me on Twitter. I'm not answering questions about anything, just about this, okay? All right. Doors open only twice a year, guys. This is your opportunity, and it's the perfect time. I delayed this event so that I could time it perfectly, to open the doors perfectly right at the bottom of September, right before blast off. Guys, let's do this together. Let's do this. It's freaking, if history's any guide, it's going to be glorious. We're going to up our wealth. We're going to up our lives over the next few weeks. Let's do it together. You'll be happy you did it. I'm telling you. All right? All right, guys. There it is. Doors open twice a year. You got it. Boom. All right? I want to thank you all for your patience in my late start today. I hope that you realize, I hope you have come to the conclusion that the wait was very well worth it. I hope you've picked up some amazing tidbits, some amazing information, some amazing things, maybe some life-changing information for your life today. I want to thank you for being here, because I know on a Saturday, whether it's Saturday morning, afternoon, or evening for you, you could be doing a lot of other things. Maybe you could be with your family. Maybe you'd be walking your dog around the park, or maybe be in the mall spending dollars, whatever, at the movies. You're here with me, and that means something. And so I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your attention, your time means something to me. I've made a promise a long time ago that anytime you or anyone else gives me even just a little bit of your attention, a little bit of your time, I will do my absolute best to give you something of value, hopefully at the level of being able to potentially change your life or change the trajectory of your life in the future. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm looking forward to seeing many of you in these Discord channels, in our clubs, in our private sessions. All right? All right, ciao for now, guys. Boom. Boom. See you soon.